From the formerly blue state of Pennsylvania, heard on WHP 580 Harrisburg, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome today's guest host, Ken Mathews.
Hello there. You know what day it is?
Live from New York, it's Open Line Friday!
Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Very exciting. An opportunity to vent, if you will. Even if you're from California. Good luck with that. 800-282-2882. So much more to cover. I thought, again, and I know a lot of people in this audience agree with Rush's analysis at the opening of the show, which we'll repeat later, by the way. If you missed it, Rush opened the first segment of the show. He did a little pre-recorded segment for us this morning. Very energizing. Much like the convention. It's such a challenge talking to people who have been, I even hate the term brainwashed, but understand, for years the news media has attempted to build up its own credibility while tearing down others. Just like academia does that. That's why if you want to sell a faulty health plan, okay, everybody put on a lab coat. Okay, put on a lab coat. Get Bill Nye, the science guy, in. Yeah, Bill Nye, can you tell a lie? Yeah, okay. What are we going to do about global warming? Get a professor in. Give him some cool, device to use. Yeah, cool hat. And this is kind of what we've all been programmed to believe, that Al Gore is an expert on global warming, and we'll watch Michael Moore's movie to find out about health care in Cuba, and we've all been programmed to believe that if we watch CNN because they say, this is CNN, it must be big. No, it's not, sadly. Sadly, it's not. So determined and so angry that the mainstream news media, along with Hollywood and academia, lost the election because they were part of Hillary's team in 2016. Now they're angry because, despite all odds, just like I was telling the gentleman that called a moment ago on the phone from California and said, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote because the wall isn't done. Dude, most people would not even show up to work on day 2 if they got dumped on like they dumped on President Donald J. Trump on day 1. Instead, this guy shows up every day swinging, and despite spineless Republicans and the standard gutless Democrat in Washington, he still gets 300 plus miles done and gets approved for another 700 more. So again, it's one of those things where if you're one of those people, if you're a genuine doubting Thomas, or to make it fair, Thomasia, if you're a genuine doubting Thomasia, and you think, I don't know, man, I don't know if President Trump has delivered, I do encourage you to watch the convention because it is chock full of fact and statistics, whether it's Jerusalem in Israel, whether it's the new trade agreement, getting rid of NAFTA, whether it's building up the military, whether it's the approval ratings of the VA. All this stuff gets, skipped over by the news media. And in their effort to tar and feather Donald J. Trump, they missed an opportunity to help their own viewers. This is what's so heartbreaking. You see these men and women who speak on behalf of Trump that don't look like typical speakers from conventions gone by. We have that wonderful woman who was in prison for over 20 years on a nonviolent drug crime, turned her life around. President Trump heard about it, released her, and then partnered with her on a program that she was doing to get other people that were unfairly either sentenced or incarcerated. This is a wonderful program. The woman had, every time that woman speaks, she has me in tears. She had me in tears the day she got out of prison. And of course she thanked President Trump, but they edited that out. They edited out, I just want to thank President Trump. God bless President Trump. I never thought a president would take my call or care about me. That got edited out. And this is what President Trump is up against. But despite that, he keeps putting score on the board for Americans, whether it's reopening factories, etc. The fact that the mainstream ignores this, again, it's borderline criminal. Now, we were talking earlier about Jacob Blake, the man who was shot in the back in Kenosha, that ignited the second round of rioting and intensity. Julia Jackson is the mother of Jacob Blake. Here is a direct quote from her. "My family and I are very hurt and quite frankly disgusted. And as his mother, please do not burn property or cause havoc or tear down your own homes in my son's name. You should not do it," said Jacob Blake's mother. She also went on to say this. Again, this is the part the news media leaves out. "For our President Trump, first, I would like to say a family member, and I don't know if it was heard or not, said something that was not kind. She is hurting, and I do apologize for that. Our outburst do not reflect our behavior." You talk about a woman with grace. Think about that. There are people in newsrooms across America that could only dream of having that level of character and grace to say, and for our president, first I want to say that a family member, and I don't know if you heard it or not, said something that was not kind about you. Please understand she is hurting, and I apologize for that. Then she goes on to say, this is Jacob Blake's mother. "For President Trump, I'm sorry I missed your call." A lot of people don't know that he called her because that would make him look genuine, because he's genuine, and you can't allow him to look genuine because the guy in the basement, Biden, has to win. So she says, "For President Trump, I'm sorry I missed your call. Because I had not missed your call, maybe the comments that were made would have been different. And I'm not mad at you at all, sir. I have the utmost respect for you as the leader of our country." Now, think about how things would be different if someone on a mainstream news outlet shared with you the mother's entire quote. And I'm going to go a step further and say some of these parents in the middle of hell are more gracious than I can't even imagine where you summon that strength. And I'll tell you where a lot of them summon it from. God. And that's something else that has upset the left all week. It's been God. It's been the Almighty. It's been blessings. It's been gratefulness. It's been thank you to these people. Thank you to that people. I don't know where I'd be without God, or I don't know where I'd be without this program that a president finally signed off on and just didn't run his mouth about for decades, Joe Biden. Prison reform is a great example. This is what's driving the left crazy. Listen very carefully. This is Anderson Cooper, and he's one of the promo people for the Democrat Party. You may have heard of him before. And he has Joe Biden. Biden, as Rush mentioned earlier in the show today, he came out of his basement, went all the way up to a room with a fireplace. Now they're interviewing him. They're talking about Jacob Blake. Listen to this.
The president has not talked about the shooting of Mr. Blake. He's talked about violence at protests in the wake of it. I'm wondering why you think that is that he hasn't actually addressed it. There's obviously a lot we do not know about the circumstances around it, but the video obviously has been out there.
Well, look, I don't know enough to know whether that 17-year-old kid exactly what he did, but allegedly he's part of a militia coming out of the state of Illinois.
Okay, so the guy that wants to lead the free world and walk around with the nuclear codes in his man bag confuses Jacob Blake, who was shot in the back 7 times by the Kenosha police, with Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old kid who was defending property in Kenosha during the riots, and he had the AR-15. He's been charged with murder. So that's the guy? Democrats, that's the guy. That's the guy you want? And think about this. Biden comes out of his basement, what, once every 6 weeks? I mean, the groundhog in Pennsylvania comes out more often than Biden does. Puxatawny. No, I've seen it with my own eyes. So Biden comes out. He comes out for his 11-minute appearance where 6 minutes is packaged, and he confuses the most recent black man shot by police with a white man that was on another part of the country. Well, not another part of the country, excuse me. Another part of the entire dynamic. Come on. Could I quote Joe Biden? Come on, man. Come on. Are you black enough to vote for Joe Biden? Well, he'd ask. 800-282-2882. Open Line Friday. I'm Ken Mathews. Your calls next.
You're listening to the EIB Network. WBAP.
Pat Boone again for Relief Factor. I've read that pain is the #1 reason people go to the doctor, which I think is why Relief Factor is being so well received. And I'm here right now with Pete and Seth Talbot, who are the founders and owners of Relief Factor.
And we know, Pat, that most people really do want a 100% drug-free solution to their pain, like back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, or knee pain. And hey, Relief Factor is working.
As I was aging, the pain in my hips was getting worse and worse. And when I started taking Relief Factor, I am pain-free. I love it.
Testimonials like that are why we created the 3-week Quick Start and then discounted it to only $19.95 to make it as easy as possible to give it a try.
Do what so many others are glad they did. Call 800-500-8384 or go online to relieffactor.com.
WBAP.
First traffic.
Traffic is heavy on the north side of Fort Worth, and it's due to a brand new wreck. This report is sponsored by Michael Uvalde, the Law Boss. If you're on the westbound side of North Loop 820 approaching Saginaw Main Street, a wreck in that left lane, it's causing a 2 or 3 minute backup. It's not too bad. It's heavy back beyond Blue Mound Road. And a brand new problem in Dallas, southbound 75 at Forest, a wreck in that far right lane, already backing you up past the High 5 back toward Mid-Park. The Law Boss, Michael Uvalde, the official personal attorney of the Dallas Cowboys, hopes you're never in a car accident, but if you are, they are there to help anytime, 24/7. Call 1-800-LAWBOSS. That's 1-800-LAWBOSS. The WBAP First Traffic.
You know, sometimes you get in the IRS's crosshairs, even when you've done nothing wrong. It's Chris Kroc, and if this sounds familiar, call Randy Martin at irsprov.com. They help people with IRS problems. Christy found herself in a similar situation. Christy, what did it feel like?
I was scared. I was afraid that the IRS was going to levy my bank account or paycheck. This problem literally landed in my lap, and I didn't know what to do.
Why'd you choose irsprov.com?